what is cracking? It is your girl, Lillian Frances. This is part 2 of the sound synthesis series wow, that's a lot, of the sound synthesis series that I am creating with Kilohearts. So welcome. In this series, I'm going to be breaking down the different types of synthesis that we can be doing in phase plan. Last time we talked about FM synthesis, and today we're going to be talking about my very favorite, granular synthesis. Granular synthesis breaks up our sound into tiny little grains and then spins them and plays them back in whatever order you want. So what are grains? Grains are the tiniest little baby pieces of sound. Just little baby pieces of sound. You can think of grains like grains of sand on the beach. You have your beach, which is your sample, and then break it down and you have a bunch of tiny little grains. Faceplant does not have a dedicated granular synthesis situation happening, so we're going to break down what are the key characteristics in a granular synth and how can we recreate it in Faceplant. So without further ado, let's start granulating. Splash! Alright fam, so welcome to Faceplant. The first thing we're going to do is add a generator up here. So I'm going to click and we are going to be bringing in a sample to get our grains from. So we are going to add a sampler here. I'm just going to pull in a sample from one of my songs here. So next we are just going to drag and drop this little section into here. So what are the things that all good granular synths have? Well, one, a starting point to determine what grain's going to get played. So if we open up our loop section here, you're going to see that we have this start option and this offset option. Offset is the start position of our playback, and start here is the start position of our loop. And we want them to move in time together. So we're going to line them up by bringing start all the way down. And then I'm going to use this macro and assign it to both of these guys. So I'm going to click the little plus button here, which allows me to assign it to start and also to offset. And now, as I bring this guy up and down, start and offset are going to move together. And let's name macro 1 start. The next thing that we need is a knob for the grain size. So this is going to be our length right here. How big is the loop or the little grain that's playing? So we're going to assign the second macro to our length right here. So it goes big, small, and we don't need to assign that much. Let's bring it down. All right, we're done. We did it. The next parameter we are going to create is spray. And spray adds randomization to what grain is being played, i.e. we will have to randomize the starting position of the grain. So in order to do that, we're going to come down to our modulators here, and we're going to add a random modulator. And I'm going to speed this way up, smooth it out, and then assign it to our start here. See how it's popping all around up there. Awesome. Love the randomization, but I don't want it happening all the time. So I'm going to take this third macro and I'm going to assign it to our output of the random modulator. So schwamp, schwamp, schwamp. And we're going to drag down the amount all the way to the bottom. So now it starts at 0. So as I turn up this macro, it's going to add more randomization. Cool, and we can also randomize the size of the grain. So let's add another random, speed it way up, smooth it out a bit, and assign it to our grain size here. And again, I don't want this always happening, so I'm going to assign this fourth macro to control our grain size by assigning it to the amount here, and then turning down the amount to start at 0. So as I turn up the random grain, it will randomize the size of our grain. Cool. All right, now let's start designing my sound. We've got the good goods. So let's turn on some unison here. This will just widen it out. And now let's just play with our macros to see what we can come up with. So let's start processing over here. The first thing I'm gonna want, what do I want? Maybe add a little bit of ensemble. Cool, there it is, that's cool. Let's add, some delay, but maybe I only want the delay on the high end. I'm gonna throw in my darling little multi-pass. Where are you, multi-pass? A, B, C, D, E, there we go, M. All right, edit, let's add the delay just to these higher frequencies up here. So just on band 4, we're gonna add some delay. Cool. Let's add a convolver. I've been loving this convolution reverb. And let's add a pitch shifter. This is also using granular synthesis. See, we're choosing the grain size here. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Ooh, now it's starting to sound like a bird. It's sounding pretty. There we go. And let's add a little bit of distortion for good measure. And also we need a filter somewhere in here. Let's throw it in here, why not? Filter just to get out those low lows. And also, if we wanted to hold it out and have it be like a pad of some sort, it's almost flute-like at lower octaves. Anyways, the point is to have fun with it, and I'm having a good old time here. All right, fam, well, there it is. We have just made a delightful little patch using granular synthesis techniques in Phase Plant. I hope you guys have learned something new and you've enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and give it a like and a subscribe. And if you like my tutorials and you want to come learn more about music production from me, you can find me at Lillian Frances Music. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, all the places. So yeah, I think that's it. Thanks everyone for joining along, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!